Okay, scholars, welcome to the last video for parts of speech. This is the second last topic in the grammar book. It's actually not the last one, that's conjunctions, but I'm not filming a video for that one. So today's topic is prepositions. Here's the definition for you. A preposition is a word that shows the relationship of a noun or pronoun to another word in the sentence. What? Yeah, not a super helpful definition. Prepositions are kind of a hard part of speech to define, and that might not be a super helpful definition for us to use. So, some suggestions. First off, another way of thinking about it is that a lot of prepositions are direction words. Not direction in terms of left, right, those are actually adverbs, but a lot of prepositions, if you kind of see what I mean from my list, are direction words. Another way to help you out is just to know a whole list of prepositions, and I've got a start of one here, and then you can also find another one in your grammar book, and you can find more online if you really think that you need just a huge or bigger list to help. And then being familiar with words is a good way to go. So here's a start: about, against, to, by, beside, at, for, into, over. So you can kind of see, maybe start to see what I mean a little bit by direction words. So prepositions in sentences, finding them. I have my sheets in the wrong order here. Okay. Apparently I was not prepared, if that's what comes from going through and practicing beforehand. Prepositions come in sentences, but they don't actually come on their own. They come inside prepositional phrases. And so a prepositional phrase starts with a preposition and it ends with a noun or pronoun. Let me pull this definition back over here again and remind you that our definition is that a preposition shows the relationship of a noun or pronoun to another word in the sentence. So that noun or pronoun would be the one that the prepositional phrase is ending with. So let's take a look at some prepositional phrases or sentences and see if we can find prepositions and prepositional phrases. Here's our first one. We have a display of posters in the showcase in the corridor. This sentence actually has 3 prepositions in it. I should be able to find my pronoun, my verb. I have some adjectives in here. And the are adjectives. Posters, showcase, corridor are nouns. That should be easy for me to define by now. So you might see that the words that are left over are the prepositions. So of is a preposition, in is a preposition, and in the second time around is a preposition. A prepositional phrase begins with a preposition and ends with a noun or pronoun. Here's my first prepositional phrase, of posters, where posters is the noun that ends that prepositional phrase. Here's my second prepositional phrase. It starts with in and ends with showcase, and showcase is the noun at the end of that prepositional phrase. In the corridor, again, my preposition is the first word in the prepositional phrase and the noun is the last word, so in the corridor. Now you'll see that I can have prepositional phrases as short as 2 words, of posters. I can also have ones that are a little bit longer, in the corridor. The is an adjective, right, describing corridor. So I can have, depending on how many adjectives I have in a sentence, or if I have a compound noun, I might have a little bit longer of a prepositional phrase. One thing to watch out for, I will never have verbs in my prepositional phrases. If I've got a verb inside what I think is a prepositional phrase, I'm wrong. It's too long. Something's going wrong in my figuring stuff out. Here's one more sentence. The hillside was dotted with beautiful flowers. Can you find the preposition? It's the word with. And again, if I'm looking for my prepositional phrase, it's going to start with my preposition. That should not be something challenging to find. And flowers is the noun. And again, I've got a preposition, an adjective, and a noun in my prepositional phrase. Now, we have finished talking about adjectives and adverbs, so it shouldn't be a surprise to you. It should be review that adjectives describe nouns or pronouns, and adverbs can modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. Mainly they modify verbs. So I can also have prepositional phrases working as an adjective or working as an adverb. And in fact, if you want to use a very fancy term for that, a prepositional phrase working as an adjective would be called an adjectival phrase. And prepositional phrase working as an adverb would be an adverbial phrase. You don't need to know those terms. It's just kind of cool to be able to use them. As review, we should also know that an adjective tells which one, what kind, how many, and an adverb tells when, where, how, or how often. Those questions can help us figure out whether our prepositional phrases are acting as adjectives or acting as adverbs. If we look back at these sentences here, we have a display of posters. There's my first prepositional phrase. Is that telling me which one, what kind, or how many? Or is that telling me when, where, how, or how often? We have a display of posters. That would be telling me what kind, like what kind of display. So that would be an adjective prepositional phrase. We have a display of posters in the showcase. That would be telling me when. So that would be an adverb prepositional phrase. And in the corridor, sorry, I said when, but it's actually telling me where. We have a display of posters in the showcase in the corridor. Again, that's telling me where, so that's an adverb prepositional phrase. One other thing that you can do to try to help you figure out whether it's an adjective or adverb prepositional phrase is to remember that adjectives describe nouns or pronouns. Wow, that's really tiny and hard for you to read. So an adjective prepositional phrase is going to be describing or modifying the noun or pronoun in the sentence. An adverb describes or modifies a verb or an adjective or another adverb. So most adverb prepositional phrases will be modifying the verb. That's not always super easy to figure out, so hopefully you'll be able to kind of tell when you're looking at them. Otherwise, these questions are the solid gold questions to always go by. All right, scholars, do your best on your grammar work, and I look forward to checking it out with you to see if you understand it all.